This is my main save of Pokemon Violet, which has completed the game. And this is a random number generator. Within Pokemon Violet and its DLC, there are a total of 843 different Pokedex entries. Some are the same Pokemon as you can catch them both in the main game and the DLCs, but that doesn't make much difference here, as I had an idea to create a team of 6 and try to win the Academy A-Star tournament, with the random number generator choosing each member of my team based on their Pokedex entry. Now there are 3 different Pokedexes, with each one starting back at 1. So how this will work is if number is higher than the amount that the first dex has, it moves on to the next dex, and then so forth if it's even higher than that dex. I hope that makes sense. So with that, let's start it off. Our first number is 496, and the Pokemon this links to is within Kitagari Pokedex of Orthworm. We find one roaming around the Paradise Barrens and catch them for our first member of the team and name them Wormy. Dex entry 248 is next, and this Pokemon is found within the base game of Lurantis. There are a couple of static spawns at the Scorant Trail. We catch them and name them Mantis. Our next number is 835, and this Pokemon is Inteleon. Now it's confession time. I still haven't finished the Tilmask DLC, so I don't have access to the starter Pokemon within the terrarium. But luckily enough, I did partake in the mighty event for Inteleon back in April 2023. So I have one just sitting in a box, who I can breed, hatch, and then evolve into an Inteleon for this very challenge. I'm very basic when it comes to nicknaming Pokemon, and you can probably tell that as we call our Inteleon Tad, despite it not being a frog. Our next dex entry is 357, Snorunt, who is found and captured and named Snowy on Glaciode Mountain. Team member number 5 is entry number 96, who turns out to be Luxray, found within North Province Area 2. They're easily enough caught and named Sparky, all because of that one Pikachu. And for our final member of the team, we roll 666. Yeah. This turns out to be an Alolan Diglett within the terrarium. They take a while to spawn, but eventually we do find one and catch them and name them Diggly Dig after their cry. With our team now formed, we level them up to be in line with one another and an appropriate level to take on the challenge. We sort out their movesets, equip them with items, and it's now time to take on the Academy A-Star tournament. Our first battle is against the school nurse Miriam. We lead with Sparky and then with Hypno. And all it takes is one crunch for a Hypno to fall just like that. Out next is Sawbuck, and to my surprise they actually outspeed us and deal a fair amount of damage with Megahorn. We return fire with a Volt Switch, getting a little bit of chip damage and a clean switch into Mantis. Still outspeeding, Megahorn deals super effective damage, bringing Mantis down to red, as we return fire with an X-Scissor doing the same to them. Megahorn then takes Mantis down next turn. So we send out Snowy to go for the KO with an Ice Fang, but not before taking a Megahorn themselves. Glalie is Miriam's next Pokemon out, and starts off strong, taking out Snowy with an Iron Head. Wormy is out next, getting hit by a Freeze Dry, dealing a little bit of damage, while we return with an Iron Head, dealing over half. The turn then repeats itself, but this time Wormy gets the KO on Glalie. Electros is next out, and despite us having super effective damage with Earthquake, we wouldn't actually be able to hit them due to the ability of Levitation. So instead we set up a Shed Tail for a free switch into Tad. A Snipe Shot deals half of Electros' health while they set up a coil, but it's to no use as another Snipe Shot finishes them off next turn. Pinurchin is their penultimate Pokemon, and predicting an electric move coming our way, we swap into Dig, nullifying an incoming Zippy Zap. We then set off an Earthquake while they set up spikes, and another Earthquake finishes off Pinurchins. Now for the final Pokemon of Toxapex. They terrestrialize into a pure poison type as we hit an Earthquake for 1/3 of their health, before a super effective liquidation finishes off Dig. Tad is next up, and a Terra boosted Snipe Shot brings Toxapex down to just red. However, they heal a lot of it back with a recover. A crit Snipe Shot then brings them right back down, as Venoshock leaves us at just above half. Another Snipe Shot then seals the deal, knocking out Toxapex and winning us the first battle of the Ace Star tournament. Battle number 2, and it's against another teacher of Jacq. Once more, Sparky is our starting Pokemon, and they start off with Arcanine. To reposition, we swap into Tad, getting hit by a not very effective Flare Blitz, which barely scratches us but also causes some recall damage to the Arcanine. A Snipe Shot then outspeeds and KOs Arcanine. Lurantis is their next Pokemon out, and we U-turn into Snowy, who is hit by an incoming Leaf Blade. Snowy outspeeds, hits an Ice Fang, and unfortunately only brings Lurantis down to red before we fall to a Brick Break. To finish off the job, we send out Sparky, who hits a Crunch for the KO. Mudsdale is their next Pokemon out, and predicting an incoming ground move, we swap into Wormy, who eats it up thanks to their ability of Earth Eater. Ironhead then deals about a quarter of Mudsdale's health in return for a super effective close combat, and somehow Wormy holds on strong. Another turn and another Ironhead brings Mudsdale down to about 1/3 health remaining, before Wormy falls to another close combat. A Night Slash from Mantis then cleans up. Slowbro is next onto the field, and we set up a Sunny Day while they set up a Light Screen. With the sun now in effect, we get a 1-turn Solar Blade, bringing Slowbro right down to red. We are then hit by a sun boosted Flamethrower, leaving Mantis just hanging on to 7 HP. I honestly don't know how they survived that. Luckily, another Solar Blade then finishes off Slowbro. Swallow comes out next for Jacq, and outspeeds, knocking Mantis down with a Fire Punch. We then bring in Dig, who hits a Terra boosted super effective Earthquake, which brings Swallow down to yellow. But another Fire Punch does still KO Dig in one hit, despite losing our weakness with terrestrializing. Swallow then protects from an incoming Snipe Shot from Tad, but another Snipe Shot then deals half of what Swallow had remaining. I assumed it would have been a KO even though the sun is up, but I guess I assumed wrong. We are then poisoned by a Toxic, but this time around Snipe Shot hits and finishes off Swallow. As they terrestrialize into pure Psychic, we U-turn into Sparky, who is then hit by a not very effective Thunderbolt. A Life Orb boosted super effective Crunch then deals with Ratharig with ease, and it's a pretty easy final Pokemon. But with that, battle number 2 has been won, 2 more to go. Battle 3, against another teacher, this time Suwaro. That's how Google's told me it's pronounced, so that's how I'm going to go for it. The fight starts off with Pachirisu versus Sparky. Pachirisu outspeeds, halving our health in one go with a Super Fang, while we return with a Crunch, bringing them just a below half. Quick Attack then deals minimum damage as we return with another Crunch for the KO. Gudra is next up and we dodge an incoming Power Whip, while Crunch brings them down to half. The next Power Whip does connect, knocking out Sparky. Snowy comes out next, tanking a Power Whip to get the KO with a single Ice Fang. Vespiquen is their third Pokemon out, and an Ice Fang leaves them just above half while they return with a Power Gem for the KO on Snowy. Two Snipe Shots from Tad then finish off Vespiquen, as we are only hit by an Air Slash in return. Alohomora is next out, and we U-turn into Mantis, who is hit by a Body Slam, which unfortunately does paralyze us. Getting hit by a couple of Body Slams, we eventually manage to set up the sun with Sunny Day. They then set up a light screen as we then bring them down to red with a Solar Blade. Another Body Slam then comes our way, bringing Mantis to 65 HP as we return with a Night Slash with a KO. Frostlass is their second to last Pokemon, who sweeps us with a Blizzard, taking down Mantis. It's now Wormy's time to enter the fight, as we terrestrialize to still hoping Frostlass doesn't have a flamethrower. It doesn't seem like they do, as we are hit by a Hex. A Terra boosted Iron Head then brings Frostlass down to what seems to be about 1 HP, and a Will-O-Wisp then comes our way next turn, but luckily it misses, and we are able to finish off Frostlass with another Iron Head. Now for Suraro's last Pokemon of Hatterene. A perfect matchup for Wormy with our super effective Steel typing and moves. The Terra boosted Iron Head deals about 2/3 of Hatterene's health, while they go for a Magic Powder, which fails. I have no idea what that move is meant to do, but it gives us the victory as another Iron Head KOs Hatterene and battle number 3 is won. Only one more left of the tournament. The final battle is against none other than the region's main champion of Gita, Sparky versus Espiraria. Espiraria hits first with Aluminum Crash, dealing almost half, but at the same time lowers Sparky's special defense by 2 stages. A Crunch in return then brings him down to low red, but unfortunately another Lumia Crash then KOs Sparky before they can finish the job. I don't think it would have made much difference, but the recall damage from the Life Orb was not great for this Pokemon. Mantis then comes in to finish the job, taking a Lumia Crash themselves, with their special defense also being lowered by 2 stages, before we finish them off with a Night Slash. Velzia is their next Pokemon out, who outspeeds with a super effective Ice Fang. Mantis does hold strong though on 4 HP, but unfortunately is frozen and unable to attack. An Aqua Jet then finishes off Mantis next turn. Digglydig manages to deal a little bit of damage with a Sucker Punch before also falling to an Aqua Jet. Tad then comes out, hitting a U-turn, bringing Velzia down to 1/3 health remaining, while Wormy swaps in and gets tickled by a Psycho Cut. A Liquidation then brings Wormy to just above half, while an Earthquake finishes them off. Avalugg is their next Pokemon out, and we hit them with a super effective Iron Head, but it only deals about a quarter of their health before we are finished off by a Body Press. Honestly, this battle is going as bad as it possibly can go. We then decide to bring in Tad to take charge, with a Terra boosted Snipe Chop doing exactly that, taking out Avalugg. Go-Go is next onto the field, and we are very weak to them. U-Turn deals almost half, and we swap into Snowy as they bulk up. Unfortunately, they outspeed and one-shot Snowy with a single Horn Leech before we are able to do anything, and they heal a fair amount of damage which we just dealt. Tad is our final Pokemon, and a U-turn brings them right back down to where they were, but unfortunately, due to that bulk up and probably the super effective damage, Horn Leech once again one-shots and KOs Tad. The battle is lost. We are defeated. It wasn't even close, as they still had another 2 Pokemon in the bag. But that was the challenge. Could we win the Academy A-Star tournament with a random team? Well, no, not with this team. There was definitely a few mistakes that we made, and maybe we could have come out on top if we hadn't made them. But we did make them, and we lost. But hey, I still had fun. It was a fun challenge, and I would be down to try it again on this game or any other Pokemon game with their versions of the Elite Four and Champion. If you also might want to see this type of challenge in the future, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or any other challenge ideas you might have. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, comment or subscribe, as I know everyone says it, but it really does help out the video a lot, and it lets me know this is something you've enjoyed. We also do have a join button now, so if you wanted to support even more, there is the option to do so. You get a few little perks if you do. But anyway, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.